Most Pokemon collections don't lose value because of bad cards. They lose value because of quiet decisions collectors don't even realize they're making. And what's scary is, a lot of those decisions feel responsible. They feel organized. They feel safe. By the end of this video, you'll understand why collections slowly bleed value over time. Not from obvious mistakes, but from normal everyday storage and habits. And there's one point near the end that even advanced collectors don't like hearing. I'm not saying this hypothetically. I buy collections. I send cards in for grading. I've seen what actually comes back. And what surprised me early on wasn't how many damaged cards I saw. It was how many carefully kept cards still lost value. Before we talk about binders, I want to be clear about something. I've bought collections from people who did everything right. Sleeves, good binders, no playware. And I've watched cards they were confident would be PSA 10s come back as 8s and 9s. Not once, not occasionally, repeatedly. That's when I realized most collections don't lose value dramatically. They lose value quietly. Now, let me show you the first place it usually happens. Binders. They feel safe. They look organized. They feel responsible. And to be clear, binders aren't evil. But here's what I've seen over and over from buying collections and sending cards to grading. Even when cards are properly sleeved, in good quality binders, stored flat and upright, they still come back as PSA 8s or 9s when the owner expected a 10. Not because the card was played, not because someone was careless, but because binders apply constant pressure and movement over time. Here's what's actually happening. Most binders apply light but constant edge pressure, especially when pages are full. They flex every time pages are turned, allow microscopic movement inside the pockets. That movement causes things you can't see casually. Subtle edge whitening, tiny surface abrasions on the foil, micro corner compressions. None of this jumps out in a sleeve, but graders see it immediately. And I can't count how many times someone has told me, this card has lived in my binder its whole life. Yeah, that's usually the problem. Because when that card finally gets graded, that PSA 10 you felt confident about comes back an 8 or a 9. And that's not nitpicking. That's often a 40 to 70% difference in value for a card that looks identical to the naked eye. Most PSA 8s weren't abused. They were stored politely. Here's another quiet value leak. Near mint isn't a condition. It's a temporary phase. Every raw card is either moving towards grading or moving towards damage. There is no neutral state. Time does not preserve cards. It slowly reveals its weaknesses. Advanced collectors know this, but a lot of people delay decisions because grading feels expensive. Waiting often costs more than grading ever would. A card doesn't need to be destroyed to lose value. It just needs time. This one hits experienced collectors the hardest. Spreading value across too many modern sets, too many mid-tier hits, too many nice but replaceable cards. It feels smart, it's not. Liquidity matters. $10, $50 cards are harder to sell than one $500 card. They move slower, they attract weaker buyers, they grade worse on average. Strong collectors aren't wide. They're focused. This is the one most people don't track. Collectors watch prices. They don't watch demand velocity. A card can hold price while silently losing buyers. That's when value looks stable right before it drops off the edge of a cliff. Two cards can both be worth $300. One sells instantly, the other sits for months. Same price, completely different futures. Price without demand is an illusion. This is why I don't tell people to just hold cards and forget about them. And I'm not saying this from a seller mindset. I'm saying this as a collector myself. Collect what you love. That part never changes. Maybe you never plan on selling. Most collectors don't. But you might want to upgrade a card, you might want to consolidate, or life might force that decision. And when that day comes, you don't want to realize your collection lost value quietly while you were doing everything right. Curating isn't flipping. It's about keeping your options open. That's not selling out. That's being a smart collector. Most collections lose value because cards aren't stored for their end game. Decisions are often delayed instead of decisive. Value is spread thin instead of concentrated. Demand is assumed, not measured. Fix these 4 things, and your collection doesn't just survive, it compounds. And this leads to the bigger question. If condition, demand, and perception matters this much, why are Pokemon cards worth so much in the first place? Why does a tiny edge flaw matter? Why do some cards explode in value while others don't? That's exactly what I will break down next in our upcoming video. No hype, no nonsense. Just real psychology behind Pokemon card value. My name is Elias from Pokemoncards, and this has been Real Collector Talk.